golden, told you I'm shining. Had to break through, plan perfect timing. Giving no hands, go get it. RadixTheRuler, can't f with them peasants. Want to win pleasant, envy the essence. Fuck about you, more about me. I come from the land that forgotten. That league of the shadows, my city like Gotham. But now I'm the man, you gon' hear this often. Stacking these gems, the boy ain't no option. All black like he gothic, but yet he still blossom. Desire to conquer, ain't nothing gon' stop him.
What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the Basement Sports Network. It is episode 2 of Witness Weekly. I also want to reiterate when I said what's good, y'all. It looks like I'm only talking to 3 people, which is not surprising. They gave us a chance at episode 1, and they said, nah, I ain't want that much more of that. I mean, we'll get into that later. I got a little compilation video that I posted on Twitter. Some of y'all may have seen, but we'll show it here a little later anyways. But George, my guy, they let us back for episode 2. Can you believe it?
It's a big mistake. It's a big mistake. Once we get comfortable, we don't leave.
Very quick. Hey, they should have let us quit while we were ahead, bro.
Oh. As soon as I saw the Step Brothers clip, they should have cut us there, and then it's over now.
Oh, that was our peak. That was our peak. That Step Brothers
we peaked
clip.
Early.
Listen, well, for the 4 people watching this right now, and hopefully the many others that tune in later, let me just say that this specific stream to set up has been an absolute pain. I have so many things that I could say for our Grind Our Gears segment later. For one, the internet was not working in my room. That's why I had to be back out here in the living room again. For 2, I had a video clip that was kind of going to be a contingent on my entire plan for this show, and it did not load. It glitched. Somehow the file was corrupted, and now I had to completely pivot on my entire game plan for the show, which is why, this might suck, but really that's not an excuse because
it was Adam. Adam ruined the file.
Adam ruined it. Is that what we're going to do? Is we're going to blame Adam?
We have to blame him.
Well, listen, that's also probably why there's 5 people in here now, because I didn't get a ton of chance to do promo like I wanted to. But anyways, the whole point is doing this entire thing, setting this up today has not been simple at all. But you know it is simple, George. Our guy, James Poe over at Simple Health Advisors, who said shopping for insurance doesn't have to be hard, man. My dog over there got life insurance, health insurance, Medicare, and they find it easy to get to you. That's right. It's our guy, James Poe. Feel free to give him an email at jpoe@simplehealthadvisors.com or give him a call at 321-345-7738. Shout out to our guy, James, man. In addition to that, all these problems that I've been mentioning, I forgot to say that I also have roofers on top of my house now, which is good news because I'm finally getting my roof tarped because the Hurricane Ian tore that thing to shreds. Bad news is they've been making a ton of noise for like 3 hours now, and I thought it'd be over before we started streaming, but it's not. And now we got the roofers and also our boy Hector back there who's eating. Hello. So he says hello if y'all picked up on that. Hello. Anyways, we're gonna talk about some of the things that happened this week because finally, George, preseason is over, and God, I hate preseason, man. I absolutely
hate preseason.
100%. Do you put any stock into preseason? Anything you've seen?
I put my championship aspirations in preseason.
Okay. So 4-1, you think the Heat are going to finish where?
Oh, number 1, for sure.
Championship?
Oh, in the bag. I'm looking towards the 3-peat now.
Listen, I love that you're trying to convince yourself, but I know you don't even believe yourself in what you're saying right now. So we got a topic. We got a couple of topics that we're going to get into. Of course, we got all our fun segments that we're going to do later on. But thank y'all, the 5 of y'all that are tuning into episode 2. That is quite frankly 4 more people than I expected because my mom is definitely watching this. So shout out to my mom. But anyways, if y'all are not tuning in, then y'all missing out because we actually got a ton of great reviews after episode 1. And I've compiled them into a little clip, and I'm going to show them to y'all right now. That's right. We got some awesome feedback after episode 1 of Witness Weekly. I've compiled my favorite comments and I'm going to show them to y'all.
We are a super chat nation.
Thank you for the super chat.
I'm Kevin Harlan, and this is Witness Weekly.
Shout out to all those people for commenting during and after the last episode, man. All the ones that are real and all the ones that are fake, I'll let y'all figure out which is which. I do want to say, too, because I posted that same video on Twitter a little bit earlier today. Did some pretty good numbers. Think got a little over 500 views. You know, a lot of retweets. Some people are liking it, man. But I do want to say, too, obviously, it's very clear we kind of poked some fun at the likeness of Mr. Greg Sylvander there at the end. And I just want to point out that there's no beef to anyone. Kind of my goal with that video is to kind of poke fun at everyone because there has been a lot of tension on Heat Twitter between the different networks. Now, I can't speak for anybody else because I really is not a topic of discussion. But at least for me, I certainly don't have beef with anybody. And my goal is that all these networks can be a cohesive unit and we can all root for this Heat team together. You know, I just want to be one big happy family as we go into the regular season. And as we watch a Heat team that looks like they're going to be pretty good, man. So no beef in that video to anybody. But moving on. You have any thoughts on that, George?
You disrespected my boy Sreg Gilvander so hard. He is very upset, and you've been canceled.
Listen, I've made it one more episode longer than I thought I would before being canceled. So that is a win in my book, George. As we hit the double digits in here, shout out to the 10 people watching, man. We appreciate y'all. Let's go ahead right into our first segment since we got 10 people, and hopefully we can get a little more watching. The first segment is something that I like to call Who Dis? Where I show you this random obscure NBA former Miami Heat player, and the first person to tweet the answer to @BasementSportsNetwork with the link to this video and the hashtag Witness Weekly will get a retweet and a shout out on stream. We'll see if anybody actually does this. Last week, we had 2 people submit, and the winner was the beautiful Royal A. Shepherd, who I have no idea if he's in here because I've been forgetting to look at the comments. We got our dog, Joel Jacob, and my dog, Tuan. Shout out the basement. Shout out Heat versus the World in here. That bottom comment said Duncan, which is so accurate because this bum played exactly like Duncan Robinson's bum ass is currently doing. But no, it's not Duncan. To give y'all a hint, it is someone that we used to call White Number 7, which now I'm realizing is not actually a hint at all. George, you got any idea who this?
That is a Duncan Robinson and Jonas Jerebko face mix. That is a fake player.
This is the second time you've mentioned Jonas Jerebko on stream in a week. What is your obsession with that
Sharpshooter, killer. Would have been perfect fall next to Bam.
Perfect
fall next to Bam.
Low key, he would.
Give me Celtics, Jonas Jerebko. That's a ring. That's a wrap.
I wish I had the side-by-side of this guy and Jonas because he definitely looks like Jonas. But anyways, I'll keep this up here a couple more seconds. And if you have any idea who this is, go ahead and tweet it out with the link to this video at the Basement Sports Network, hashtag Witness Weekly, so we can find you. And hopefully we get some more viewers in here because quite honestly, I was going to say I have a fun show planned, but I absolutely do not. I had a fun show planned, but all these issues that I mentioned earlier, if you missed it, I'm not going to get into it again. They kind of prevented that. So tune in for week 3, but also don't finish on week 2. But no, Borelli, it is not Duncan, but thank you for tuning in. Thank y'all for tuning in. Okay, let's get into some basketball talk, George, because believe it or not, contrary to what a lot of people say about the basement, we do talk some basketball, George. The first guy, the minimal, the bare minimum.
The micro amount possible to be classified as a basketball podcast.
Why the hell is your name Michael Mulder's agent?
I'm Michael Mulder's agent. He couldn't afford one, and I put my name in the hat, and he drew my name out, and now I'm his agent.
Well, considering he sucks and he's been on this Heat team like on 4 separate occasions, I'd say you to go agent. I don't know how you can get in this dude's job.
I can leak his new team as well.
What? You could leak his new team?
Ni hao.
You know what?
Ni hao.
Throw it out. What happened?
He's going to Shanghai. We're going to Shanghai, baby.
You think he's good enough to Shanghai? You think he's good enough to make Shanghai? Oh, that dude is a shooter that can't put the ball in the hoop.
Starting point guard, 30 points a game. I believe in my client.
George, I know what a bad shooter looks like. I'm talking to one right now, and Michael Mulder is a bad shooter.
I've seen your clips. You cannot talk to me about shooting, please. Your spot-up game is weak.
I actually had a clip, and that's part of what we had the technical difficulties earlier. But we'll try to get that to y'all next week. But anyways, the first actual basketball topic that we have here is Bam Adebayo's aggressiveness, George. We've seen a lot of that in the preseason, and specifically in that last game. My dog shot 12 free throw attempts. To me, that's the sign of a star player. The free throw attempts is how you get to being a great player to a star level player. But what I want to ask you is, are you falling for it? Are you drinking the Bam Kool-Aid, or is it same old, and you're not gonna get your
Give me it all. I'm drinking the Bam Kool-Aid now. Give me it all. I want it. I believe he has taken a step in his career where he says to himself, enough's enough. I need to start taking a more aggressive approach. This team needs me more than ever. And to see him go out there and just play ball at an elite level is what I wanted the entire time.
Question: is that the first time you said that in your life about Bam Adebayo?
No.
So
No.
so what's different this time that you're gonna actually believe something's gonna change? Because I do not agree with you. At least I'm not gonna let myself agree with you.
Did you see him yesterday? We have Point Bam back. Did you see that little bounce pass he did to Jimmy? Did for Jimmy? That was beautiful. It was beautiful. Point Bam is aggressive Bam. It gets it more involved in the offense, more direct. A lot, bro. Me too, Twan. Me too. But to see him go out
you said
there
his name right, because let's not overlook the fact that you thought this man's name was.
Shut your dirty mouth. We don't talk about that anymore. Doesn't exist.
Sorry. I'm talking to the audience, George. This man George thought for weeks. This man George actually been in the basement for months, and he thought our guy Twan. He thought his name was pronounced Tony. Tony. Where do you get Tony from Toine? You ain't never heard of Antoine. You ain't never heard of Antoine Walker. I thought you was some giant Heat fan.
Played for the Celtics, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
That's
Tippy
what
toe
I'm saying.
3, baby.
Yeah. Don't put disrespect on my name by not being able to pronounce something like that. I'm sorry. I already apologized. I'm doing it again.
Didn't you have another bad one the other day too? I forgot what it was.
Just best forget.
There's a ton of them. Let's not get into the you know what? Let's not get into it. We was talking about a Bam Adebayo. You believe in him. Clearly, our dog Twan believes in him as well. And listen, as much as I love Bam Adebayo and I see the potential is there for him to be an absolute superstar, I am tired of getting my hopes up. In fact, a very wise man by the name of George, some Greek last name, talking about you, George, said on one of the last streams, keep your expectations low so you never get disappointed. If I am correct, that was you who said that, George, right?
But this is before Bam played that game yesterday. This was before. I am recency bias incarnate. I am the recency bias monster.
If you want to get your heart broke by Bam Adebayo again and look stupid because 1 out of every 10 games he fools all of us, then go ahead. And by all means, I hope that I'm wrong.
I will do my clown makeup getting ready for the day. I don't care. But until then, I don't.
We should add the clown makeup to our list of
clown
bets
makeup has to be a thing
later, because for those of y'all that watching, make sure you tune in, because last week the bet was Jamal Cain rebounds for the week. I bet Jamal Cain will get 15 rebounds. George said he'd get 11. He only finished with 8. And the bet that we had to do on our wheel was shower in cold water while reciting every Heat player's college. And yes, I did lose. I did make that video. So stay to the end if you want to see it. And it is not something I was happy about at all. But no, not that shower video. It's a different one. What? I think I'm talking to Hector back here for a second. Look, he's getting all excited.
Hector, collect your boy, man. He's losing it.
It's all that Adebayo talk. What do we got from our boy Ja here, who said the issue is Bam's consistency. He got to do it again. I'm with you, Ja. That's exactly where I'm at, because, again, it's been 1 out of every 10 games. He'll go out there and take 20 shots to follow the next 8 games with only 8 attempts a night. Very frustrating, very annoying. I just don't want to get my hopes up is all. But look, you're very clearly don't care about that. You're okay with getting your heart broken.
I don't care. If Jimmy plays the way he did yesterday, which allows Bam to take over the offense more, it's gonna be Bam season. If Jimmy refuses to take shots when he should be, and just gives the ball to Bam and says you do it, or gives it to Tyler and says you do it, we saw him yesterday at 9 assists and 12 points. Jimmy could go an entire season averaging 5 points a game.
Sure,
but we'll end up going 10 assists and then go to the playoffs and do what he do. But this is his time to shine. This is time for Bam to earn the contract. It's time for Tyler to earn the contract, and Jimmy's going to let them do it. Jimmy's the best teammate.
What about Kyle Lowry?
Who?
Should I put Kyle Lowry as the who dis next week? Is that what you were saying?
Don't talk about Kyle.
You want to hop in stream over here? Listen,
Point.
this
Kyle.
guy right here is Hector G. Klein's biggest fan. And I told her to join this stream. And the fact that she is not here is so disappointing to me.
It breaks my heart.
It's so disappointing. Why are you looking? The camera's up here. Look at this rookie. Look at this bum over here, man.
Oh, look
The
at that.
fact that Heather G. I know $5 on Amazon.
They're perfect for each other. They're both boomers.
They're both what?
Boomers.
Boomers?
Yeah, you don't know what a boomer is?
I certainly know what a boomer is,
Oh, I
but
boomed some babies. Does that make sense?
what does
Moving
that
on.
what does that even mean?
Moving on.
Listen, man, this dude
Get
right
out,
here,
Hector.
listen, this dude here, all he does is talk. Every time we go hoop, all he does is talk. It's all words.
Talking about me?
Yeah, I'm definitely talking about you.
Don't listen to this.
And I'm
Don't
only
listen to this guy.
saying this because the video I was gonna show is the one where you crossed me. It lagged. It lagged. But yeah, we got a couple hoopers. We got a couple hoopers in the house, man. This is a Chicago Bulls fan right here. So we should get a little bet going for the opening night regular season. which
Bulls
we're
in
all
4
looking-
against the Heat. Y'all stand a chance.
Yo, you guys have to make the playoffs for that.
You have to.
This guy is stupid, bro. Listen, the point is, I brought him in because I want to clip this and send it to Heather G. Klein. And the fact that she's not here is disappointing to both of us.
We love you, Heather.
See, it's all love out
It's
here.
all love.
It's all love.
It's all love.
Shout out to Heather and Culture Shock and all those great girls over there. The next topic I want to get into, Jovic, is Jovic and his role on this team. We saw him ball out against Memphis. We talked about that game. And then we saw him get some run with the starters in that game versus New Orleans. George, does Nikola Jovic tickle your fancy a little bit, man?
I mean, yes, absolutely. Look, he's a 6'11" point guard who pretended to be a big man coming out of the draft, dropped to 27, came to us, and he looks like a better playmaker than 80% of the team. He is still completing his high school diploma on Zoom.
I call cap on that, though. I call cap on that. There's no, you telling me that this man's over here playing professional ball overseas, coming over to America, playing summer league, and you tell me he was in high school the whole time? Now, sure, he's probably technically in high school, but you telling me that this man was taking classes, he was studying,
Yes.
doing tests?
Yes.
I call BS on
Imagine
that.
finishing a 6-hour session in the Bahamas to then go to Zoom and then do a test.
Listen,
I'd be so upset.
I call BS on that. Was that test proctored? I highly doubt it. Now, listen, man, the whole point of school is to get a career. This kid already clearly has a career and he's going to make a ton of money. So I'm not saying he has to go to school. That just didn't make no sense to me. We ain't heard nothing about this. And one day they just say, oh, he's taking a test. I'd like to see that test. That's all I'm going to say.
When we trade him for Kevin Durant, it's going to be beautiful. They're going to pay him a boatload of money.
Well, I don't think most Heat fans, they making it seem like Jovic is untouchable right now. And it sounds like you think he's going to be one of the better players in this league in a long time, too.
There are 50
what do you think
players
about
I'll
this year,
trade him
though?
for.
You think he's getting serious run this year? Because I do not.
Look, my mind skips between, and by the way, I don't mean the whole trading thing. Relax. I don't mean to start problems with anybody. I love him. I think he's going to be a great player for us moving forward. He's a great development project. The thing is, it all comes down to Spo. Spo is a 50-50 chance right now. It would have been 0% chance if Kendrick Nunn never happened. He yanked somebody out of having no job and just put him in the starting lineup because, you're playing 33 minutes a night.
Yes.
When we
but
thought that
guy,
he would never do that, we saw that with Precious. When Precious Achua came in, he played minimal minutes, minimal. But obviously, Nikola Jovic has a completely different skill set to what Precious offers. It helps this team a lot more than what another skill set would. I can see him playing him in the second unit right off the bat. I
disagree. One,
I can see it.
Kendrick Nunn was a rookie, but that boy was like 24 years old. So he was not a young kid. He was not. Second of all, his body is, if you think his body is ready to consistently play minutes in the NBA, then I'm going to have to disagree with you on that. I'm not going to say it's impossible because we see a lot of skinnier dudes come in this league. And obviously, you're not saying he's going to have a huge role, but still, for him to get consistent minutes, I just don't see it. Plus, it's all nice in preseason when he's playing limited action. He's out there with, going against the scrubs, the 15th guy on the other bench, and he's able to do some things because he's more talented than those guys. But he's still kind of sloppy because he's young. He's a guy that can do a lot, and because he can, sometimes he does too much. And I think come regular season, when the defense is not preseason defense and he has 2 or 3 turnovers in a row, I want to see how quickly you and the rest of Heat Nation get annoyed. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I'm not going to get annoyed. He's a kid at the end of the day. He's a project. I'm not saying he will definitely run the second unit. In my opinion, it's pretty solid right now with the fact that it's going to be a mixture of Gabe, Strus. There's going to be Duncan in there as well, Oladipo, and a Dewayne Dedmon, Yurtseven mix, whatever they want to do there. You can't really do anything right with those two big men. So whoever you play is just whoever you play at the end of the day. The mechanic is there to get boards and get some fouls. And Yurt looks like a literal goat on the floor, just cannot move. He looks terrible.
He way slower than a goat. That boy out there looking like a 7-foot sloth.
I've never seen somebody move so poorly and swivel like that badly. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see.
I thought Kelly Olynyk was slow. This man, Omer Yurtseven, is a whole nother level of slow. And I know if our guy Twan is still in there, then he can definitely, kind of retweet that right there. What do we got from Ja? He said, Spo is playing rookie Herro for a bunch of minutes. I see Jovic playing 12 to 15 minutes. Listen, obviously circumstances there are a little different. Herro was coming into a completely different team. Well, I guess not technically. That was still the start of Jimmy, but we didn't know what that team was going to be. But also, he was a lottery pick. Jovic is not a lottery pick. He's not expected to produce like a lottery pick is. But I still think Jovic will end up averaging about 12 minutes a night, but I only think he'll get about 50 games, kind of similar to the role that Precious Achiuwa got here. A lot of people think Jovic is going to get a lot bigger role. I just don't see it. But what do you think stat-wise? Give me games and minutes then. I say 50 games, 12 minutes a night. What do you got?
70 games, 8.5 to 10 minutes a night.
I mean, that's garbage time at that point. So you either think we're blowing out a lot of teams or we're getting blown out a lot.
No, I feel like you'll play at least 5 to 6 minutes coming like in the either the end of the first quarter or the start of the second. See how it goes there. But I feel like closer to halftime, he'll get more minutes.
Listen, I'd like to see him get some run, but as a guy like that, especially someone who's probably going to primarily be a shooter on offense, I think you need a little more than 8 minutes a game to kind of get your rhythm. So I hope he gets the run in the reps because that will only help him get better. But I think if you're playing 8 minutes a night, that doesn't really do too much. I'd rather see him get closer to 15 if he is going to run. But
that means you're taking away minutes from somebody else. So you're going to take minutes away from. I'm basing his minutes indicative of one person's performance, and that's Duncan. Because Duncan, we've said the quote time and time again. This organization is going to give him every opportunity to perform. And for whatever reason that would be, to make him a more consistent player on the Heat moving forward into their championship run, or to boost his trade value to a point where we can actually flip him for something decent. But regardless of that, the reasoning doesn't matter. If Duncan plays well, that will directly affect Jovic's minutes. If Duncan comes out playing like hot cabbage patch bullshit, he's going to get benched. And then Nikola Jovic is the first person to take the minutes.
I 1000% disagree because I don't think either one of them is in the rotation. Because I think Dedmon is going to get minutes as much as people seem to think that he will.
Dedmon and who? Because you've got Oladipo, Strus, and Gabe Vincent. Who are the other two?
Dedmon. That's a 9-man rotation. You want to do 10?
He does not go 9-man. He does not go 9-man.
No, not in the regular season. He won't. You're right. He'll go 10.
He'll go 11.
But
I'm not talking about end season. We don't know anything about that. What this team will look like by the time it rolls out to the playoff.
Well, obviously, I'm talking healthy, but that's why I gave Jovic 50 games. Is because when they're not healthy, he'll get about 50 games in there. But let's get this comment from Patman right here. Said he'd be so hyped if they groomed him as a point guard, not a power forward. That's an interesting comment because he actually came out and said he wasn't really comfortable playing the power forward position. As someone knocks on the door, it's probably the tarp guys. I'm really wondering if I should answer it or not. The answer is going to be
the camera.
Go answer the door, huh?
Bring the camera with you and you answer.
Bro, I can't go be doing that. I don't know these dudes. Go ask. Listen, I told y'all from the start, if you're one of these 18 people now who missed the start, I just went into how hectic this was to even set up because of the numerous technical difficulties. Go ahead and talk about Depot while I mute myself.
Depot is a bit of a spoiler for one of the segments coming up, but Depot looks to me like it's that make or break season for him. It's the first time he's had a complete off season to help him. It's been a long and arduous road back from injury, from coming out of the Thunder going to the Pacers where he actually had a really, really good, a really good stint of games.
Let me cut you off, George. What did I miss?
Huh?
Oh, no.
In case people are dying to know, what did I miss?
They're gonna leave whatever they didn't finish in front. They're gonna come back.
Okay, yeah. So these tarp people, they're gonna come back and finish to cover my roof. Just like hopefully Victor Oladipo is going to cover all the opposing offensive players. I'm sure that's what you were saying, George.
I hope you have insurance, Anthony. I hope you have insurance.
Are you trying to get to somewhere?
I'm trying to get to somewhere.
I'm just trying to buy time to get to this ad over here, man.
Listen,
we already shouted out our guy, James Poe.
Do it again.
Man. Listen, George is jealous of the smooth transition I hit into the ad earlier in this episode. If y'all didn't hear it, make sure you go and tune back in on the replay when this ends and hear it, man. But shout out to James Poe, Simple Health Advisors. Getting insurance does not have to be hard. Go ahead and give him a call and an email. You got all the information there. I really wanted to show the ad that I made, but like I said, I was having technical difficulties. Shout out to our guy, Prod of the basement back in here. Hot cabbage patch bullshit. What is he talking about? What you talking about, Pac? Royal said it's not happening. He will be a big. Obviously, I agree. You got any idea what he's talking about, George?
Hot cabbage. I did. That's what I said. If Duncan Robinson plays like hot cabbage patch bullshit.
Oh, you said that.
Yes.
I should have realized because only you would say some weird ass British slang like that.
That's not British.
George,
not for the British. Don't make me break
flag. That was the cue to get the flag. You ain't got any?
No, it's retiring for a little bit.
If y'all missed it last night on the post game stream, George, in the most random time possible, pulled out some random ass British flag for what reason? I don't know. Pac said, "Oh yeah, George said it," and I laughed. Yeah, like I said, all of today's been chaotic. So if you're just tuning in, we got a stream high 22 people. Shout out to all those 22 beautiful people. It's been chaotic. I had my house getting tarped today because Hurricane Ian destroyed the roof. I had terrible internet connection in my room. I had an entire show based off one video, and that video was corrupt as the timer was taken off to start. So this entire show has been improvised. So a good thing I watched a lot of Whose Line Is It Anyways. I hope somebody in the stream knows what that show is. George, you have any idea?
I do.
Do you really?
I like the show.
Oh, they have a British version. Oh, you're not even British. I keep thinking you British. Oh, there it is.
Dun, 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 dun. Sorry. All right. Enough. Enough for the British.
Please don't apologize for that. That's my favorite bit. That's my favorite bit on the segment, man. Anyways, you talked a little bit about Depot. I won't get into it because we did it all in the post-game stream yesterday. Basically, George thinks we're all being ungrateful and we need to give him a chance. I think that he'll have a good season, but he sucked in the preseason, and I'm not afraid to admit it. The last actual basketball topic I want to talk about, because we got plenty of other segments to get to, is Caleb Martin. Yes, sir, he is in the title. He's the reason I told Heather G. Klein to join this stream, and she did not. I even had a special guest for her. I'm still sad, but maybe she'll be watching this replay and she can see that. But we saw the dress rehearsal versus the New Orleans Pelicans. Caleb was in there as a starter, and he looked amazing. George, do you have some confidence now about Caleb being your starting four?
Like I've said, I've only had one complaint with him. That's the size that he brings against taller power forwards, bigger power forwards, people with, extra size in them like Zion. But seeing him play yesterday, he offers something that PJ never did. And I won't lie, I never actually gave it much consideration or thought that his passing is actually a lot to what he actually has to offer for his team. Being more athletic, he's passing.
What? Okay.
Caleb Martin.
That's not where I expected this to go. No, go ahead. I don't disagree.
I'm talking about his passing. I'm saying he offers a different dynamic, being able to get to the paint earlier. And his passing actually really impressed me yesterday. Sure. A few kick-out situations where he actually put the pass right on the money after what I saw Gabe Vincent do, which was chuck the easiest pass in history into out of bounds, which absolutely drove me up the wall.
He's working on it, George.
Yes, but I'm impressed with the consistency at which he was shooting in the preseason. Seeing that new form, seeing him actually take steps into becoming a better player overall gives me a lot more hope for him throughout the season. And through 82 games, you never know. By the end of it, you could have a really, really, really solid finished product that could actually be a contributing factor on a championship team.
No,
that's
I
what
agree.
we're expecting. That's what we're hoping.
Don't think any of us think he's an upgrade over PJ. We agree? But he's... Oh, well, you think the potential is there? Because I'll give you that.
The potential's there. The potential's there.
Because he certainly adds a different dynamic to the offense just because he is a lot more athletic, so he can cut, get to his spots quicker. He's obviously a lob threat in transition.
Much quicker of a player.
Adds another dynamic. Plus, the three-pointers he's hit has been all over the court, except as for PJ, who just likes to stand in the corner, which is not a bad thing because the corner is the most important three when it comes to spacing. Oh, snap. George, we actually got one. Let me go ahead and scroll down here. Are you ready for this? You know what that is? You know what that sound is, George?
I'm Kevin
wait a
Harlan, and this
minute.
is Witness Weekly.
Thank you for the super chat.
I didn't know this was coming. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yes, sir. Shout out to our guy Pat for the first super chat of the episode. And yes, every time you leave a super chat, you get to party with the boys, man. What's better than that? Maybe.
Why are you telling me this now? I don't know how to dance.
Are
What
you not-
is this?
Oh, believe it or not, George, I assumed you could not dance.
Anything over $50, I throw it back. That's all I'm saying.
But no, trust me, I know you can't dance. Neither can I. That's kind of the whole bit.
I will
But thanks,
break my hip trying to throw it back.
But I appreciate all the nice comments, y'all. But I can't make another compilation video if we ain't getting some hate. So feel free to tell us we ugly or some shit. Like, give me something to work with here, y'all. Let's get to our dog Pax question. He said, quick question. Do y'all think our roster is actually better than we thought if everyone gets a little better? Listen, my guy, that is a great question because all offseason, all everyone said is this team did nothing to get better. They're going to get worse. They lost PJ. They added nothing. They are 100% overlooking the fact that two of your three best players in Tyler Herro and Bam Adebayo are less than 24 years old. I think Bam might have just turned 25 recently, but they are still very, very young. Not to mention Tyler Herro, who's only going into his fourth season, coming off the best year of his career, at least in the regular season. And yeah, he flamed out in the playoffs, but he was 22 years old. He's allowed to have a bad postseason, learn, and get better. Okay. So the internal improvement on this team, the margin for internal improvement is massive. So it's very quite possible if those guys can achieve maybe not their full potential, at least in Tyler's case. Bam, you'd like to see get close. But if Bam can get close and Tyler takes another step as he should being his age, this team has a chance to be really, really good, man. Not to mention Jimmy Butler is still him. He's a guy that put up 46 points in a closeout game on the road in the playoffs. And we went to game 7 of the conference finals with everybody else being complete trash. Imagine if these guys step up now. This Heat team has a chance to make some noise in the playoffs. And I think they got some hope there. What do you think, George?
This is my problem with the argument. This is what I was talking about the entire offseason, and it gets misconstrued every single time. We have the ability to get better year to year with internal development. Two things go wrong with that. When it doesn't happen, it throws everything else off. Players take a step back. It makes everything, it destroys everything. The only problem I have with the argument as a whole is that when you bank on internal development, you're really fiddling with the time frame. The Jesus Christ, what am I looking at right now? The time frame in which you have to win a championship. You're fiddling and you're messing around with Jimmy's, championship window. If you're not trying to bring in talent, you bank on internal development. And don't get me wrong, Bam and Tyler have only scratched what they can do as players. But when it comes time to perform, will they be up to the challenge? Will they actually make enough development to be 100% pieces ready to align with Jimmy's window? That's what I'm worried about. But look, the potential's there. If Tyler takes a step forward as a scorer and gets to, and actually performs to the trajectory at which he's going to, it's fantastic. If Bam finally becomes aggressive, this team is unstoppable. And if Jimmy keeps doing what he's doing, we're great.
I definitely agree with that because obviously Jimmy is the guy, and as he gets older, you don't want to rely on young guys to develop. You don't want to wait for them. But if the move isn't out there, like KD wasn't, Donovan Mitchell wasn't, they tried, they couldn't get him, then at least you still have the hope of the young guys. That's why I do think there is the potential pack for them to get better. And obviously that's best case scenario because better than what they were last year as a finals team. That just is what it is. So I'm excited to see it. And I think we'll be able to tell pretty early if these guys took a step. So super excited going into the regular season. Now listen, George, for some reason, I was quite negative earlier in this podcast. Also, before I get into that, shout out to some of these comments, man. I know it was our guy, Pat Man, who said Wayne Brady. I was over there talking about whose line is it anyways. Wayne Brady is the GOAT. You know about Wayne Brady, George?
I do.
Bro,
in fact,
the most versatile. Y'all think that Bam is versatile? Wayne Brady is the most versatile human.
Sure, is it the short one or the tall one?
Are you trying to? I'm not gonna say what you're trying to get me to say.
What do you mean? Is he the short guy or the tall guy on the show?
If you want, he's the other one. If you watch this now, you know what I'm trying to avoid. And we're gonna shout out our guy Nando over there at the basement doing the Dolphin streams over there, who said, shout out to my brothers holding it down for episode 2. Thank you, Royal. Someone said it because I wasn't going to. And we also had Royal in there inflaming us a little bit. He my favorite one though. The rest weren't funny. I'm gonna keep it real with you. But the funny one was this one, that y'all look like Mario and Luigi. Because I definitely got to get that.
Who's who though? Who's who?
Oh, I'm definitely Mario. 100%.
Get out of here.
You don't think so?
I don't know. You're wearing red, which kind of scares the crap out of me. That this.
It's because of the day I had. Let me tell you, man. Also, I didn't tell y'all either. I got a nail in my tire today. So on top of everything else, I had a nail in my tire. So I had planned to spend about 4 hours doing some prep, and all of that was taken away sitting at the tire place because the guy told me 15 minutes, and I was there for 4 hours. Anyways, I've been quite negative a few times in this podcast, which is not like me, because especially after a great preseason win, going into the regular season feeling all good. But I wanted to temper expectations on Bam. I wanted to temper expectations on Jovic. But one guy that I cannot ever say anything negative about is my guy, Max Strus, who struggled this preseason up until that game against the Houston Rockets. Do you know where I'm getting at, George?
I think I'm on the right track.
Where in 22 minutes, this man had 21 points. He was absolutely amazing. He was a superstar out there, and he balled out. And do you know what that means, George?
Strus.
We got another.
This is a Strus Daddy alert.
Let's go, baby.
Strus.
The very first Strus. I better back up because I don't want to scream into the mic. The very first Strus Daddy alert of the season. The man had 22 points in 21 minutes on 5 of 7 from 3 in the first half. That is what a shooter looks. Listen, Duncan Robinson, I'm talking to you. That's what I'm not going to curse because, like I said, my mom is watching this. That's what a shooter looks like. Okay. When you start missing your first shot, you don't put your head down like this. You don't start acting like you already asked for missing a shot. No, you keep your head up and you chuck that thing. You let it fly. They paying you $18 million to shoot the ball. So shoot the ball, Duncan, or don't. Stay your ass on the bench because Max Strus is him. And I don't care if he takes all the minutes. What is your background right now? Is that
Quincy AC?
Why is Quincy AC your background?
Because he's got that dog in him. And we need Duncan to learn from the GOAT.
There's no way you
Quincy
had that
AC.
plan. You found some random ass picture on Google and just put it there.
No, I've always had Quincy AC on deck. He's ready.
You a fan of Quincy AC?
I love Quincy AC. Him? Yep.
Why?
He's him.
Okay.
And Rashad Evans.
I don't even know what I want to mute you or something, but I'm not even going to entertain that really. Our guy Josh said, what do you think of KJ Martin? Listen, he'd be awesome. He's another young guy because this team does need to get younger. That's another positive of Caleb. That's Chris Silva, the GOAT. Shout out to our guy. This team does need to get younger. Obviously, Caleb helps with that. KJ Martin could too. But really, he's a young, athletic guy with potential, and he's not making a lot of money. He's just another asset that he can work with and develop. And if he turns into nothing, fine. If he does, cool. So, any thoughts on KJ Martin?
I love the idea. As soon as I saw the report, I've always been a bit iffy on the Jay Crowder acquisition. Look, he's definitely a more polished player, but this team already having the I'm going to say the shooting around it. I think the shooting's fine. I would rather have somebody with enough, like an upside, like another Jovic, to have another sort of development piece. I'd like that idea.
Is that a like or no? Because this is too much time on KJ Martin.
Yes, it's yes. I want him now.
And
give me KJ Martin.
Josh said, who y'all trading for him? I mean, he makes like what, $1 million? So
it's 1.21 or something like that. We need Harry.
Call
Call Harry. We need Harry.
Yeah, shout out to our guys on the Random Scrub Heat podcast. New episode came out a couple days ago. We got our guys Harry on there, Ariel, LJ is a great host on that thing. George is over there, Alex, and a few other guys. It's basically all the white boys. If you see the white boys in the basement, they're on that podcast. So go give that a listen. I'll make sure to tag that and link that down below too. But yeah,
But
who
to answer the
traded?
question, yeah, Yurtseven in a second would get that deal done.
It would have to be that, yeah, because they're already right at the salary cap line. I think some space might open up towards the buyout market, so that's kind of what they're waiting for. But I guess it'd be Yurtseven or
Yes.
Highsmith, I suppose, because Highsmith is on a multi-year deal, so maybe they kind of want to get rid of those years and give it to KJ Martin. Who knows? But yeah, KJ Martin, he'd be cool. I don't think it's going to happen because I think they like their team. But yeah, our guy Royal said the dick eating is generational for a bench player. Royal is the same guy who said Drew Smith is a bum, and then he turned into Michael Jordan after that. So his basketball analysis.
But who's that referring to? Was that my Quincy AC take?
Oh, I thought it was my
Duncan?
Max Strus take. I thought it was my Max Strus take.
Oh, I don't know who I was talking about.
Listen, man.
On all three accounts, he's kind of right.
I see we got 27 people in here, so shout out to you, 27 beautiful people. I want to go ahead and throw this back up because no one has answered it yet. It is our Who Dis segment of the week. Speaking of white bums, talking about Duncan Robinson, do y'all remember this white bum? If you do, go ahead and tweet the answer to @TheBasementSportsNetwork with the link to this video and the hashtag Witness Weekly so we can find you. So hopefully we can get some more viewers in here because it was a chaotic start. And I'm happy that no one was here in the start. Even though I love the 5 of y'all that was rocking with us, but there was so much going wrong to this thing.
That looks like Chris Anderson and Michael Mulder's pushing the one.
Your obsession with Michael Mulder and Joe.
He's my client, God damn it. I have to talk about him. It's in my contract.
I hate that take by you. I hate the Michael Mulder take, the Quincy AC take. And if you say Jonas Brecker one more time, I'm kicking you off and bringing in.
Wait till you hear about my Alexi Shved campaign. Wait till you
if
hear
you know
about
who this white bum is, go ahead and tweet it out. If you're too lazy to, I don't really care. It doesn't affect my life. I'm going to keep talking basketball anyways. Okay, we talked enough basketball here, man. Too much basketball. That's not why they got us on here, George. They got us on here for the silly sauce. And going into the silly sauce, looking at my notes, it looks like not our very first, technically our second segment of the day is one that I like to call, Let's Go. Let's go! Yo, I think we should do it again. Let's Go, a.k.a. GOAW, stands for Greatest of All Week, where we take turns saying something that we really like this week, whether it's basketball related or not. I don't really care. There's literally no rules over here. George, what's your goal of the week? Even though that's redundant. So just what's your goal?
Look, it was going to be Bam. I'm not going to lie. When I walked in here, I was going to talk about Bam Adebayo, but we've already had that. We already talked about Bam. I had to think on my feet and get someone new. And from yesterday's game, if I was looking at any one thing, it had to have been Caleb Martin. Caleb Martin coming in and proving that he could actually guard at an efficient level, and he was running all over the joint. He provided that extra, facility that you could pass out to. That he was doing the passing as well. He was shooting at a good clip. I loved what I saw from him, and from someone that was a Caleb hater, I did not want him on the team when he came. I wanted him to play last year, and then I heard he was starting. And I didn't want him again. Now I want him.
Yo, are my contacts acting up or is your background blurry?
It's blurry.
Okay.
It's blurry. So
you were going to say Bam Adebayo, but then you said because we already mentioned him, you're going to pivot. So instead you pivoted to a guy who we also did an entire segment about.
It wasn't that much.
Okay, you don't get the show. Listen, my goal of the week is we actually had just yesterday, I joined in another adult men's basketball league. And there was a little draft. There were some captains. And I was drafted to the best team. So I just want to shout them out. We don't have an official team name yet, but our captain's name is Nevada, like the state. So our initial team name is the Las Vegas Nevadas. So I want to shout out all the guys on the team. We got Jalen, Nevada, Dylan, Cohen, Rayshawn, Damian, and my boy Santi of Santi Go to
Y'all gonna get cooked.
And we're going to get cooked?
Cooked.
Part of the reason I'm bringing this up is because this is my call out to every other team in the league that they are going to get their ass busted by us. And not just every other team in the league. It's everybody watching this stream who wants to smoke from me and a one-on-one. You're going to get cooked as well. And this is another personal call out to the Adam Barai, who seems to be ducking me because I've been calling for a one-on-one for months now. And he still doesn't want to tell me when he's back in town. He's saying, oh, well, maybe here, maybe here. I think he's scared. I think he's scared. And part of the reason I'm saying that is because I don't think he's watching the stream. So somebody go ahead and clip it and send it to him because I am not scared. I am the best basketball player in the basement. And there's no doubt about that. And that's a hill that I'm willing to die on.
That's
my goal of the week.
This is who you are.
Russell Westbrook.
You are laying bricks, my friend.
Yo, what's the deal with Westbrook, bro? That dude,
terrible.
He hates his team, right?
As soon as I saw Russell Westbrook trade rumors to Miami, I cried.
Not one of my proudest takes. I wanted him on this team.
I'm leaving.
Let's go into our next segment, man. This one, we already gave the positive, but because we are the basement, and what a lot of people think is that all we do is hate on the basement, we're going to go ahead and do some hating with our next segment, Grind My Gears. So I'm going to go ahead and send it over to my guy, Anthony. Thanks, Anthony. You know what really grinds my gears?
Can't heal myself, don't feel myself. I've lost my step, don't feel right.
Let's shout out this comment from our boy Vic Papo, who said, every ant I know is good at basketball. Interesting comment because there's been a lot of number 1 overall picks. There's been Anthony Edwards, Anthony Davis, Carl Anthony Towns. You had Carmelo Anthony, who went 3. But then the big stink on our name is another number 1 overall pick, Anthony Bennett. And he just kind of ruined it for all of us.
The Canadian GOAT?
That is, I'd rather you call him that than Kelly Olynyk or Ariel Atlas, I guess, for that.
Team Canada has gone wild. Wiggins, Bennett, Olynyk, they're killing it.
No, is Van Vliet Canadian? Or does he just play for the Raptors? I'd be forgetting.
I mean, the last name kind of gives it away. I feel like he's Canadian.
He said, Vic Papa said, you know you watched when Pat B take your spot. Oh, I think they talking about that Westbrook in there. Yeah, man, I'm sad.
Why is this a narrative now, by the way?
What do you mean?
Why is this narrative that somehow over the last year and a half, Patrick Beverley's become a good player?
Because he's loud and he won a playing game.
They were calling it the Big Four in the Lakers with Westbrook, Pat Bev.
Who was calling it that? Probably
LeBron James. It was, I forgot who it was. Who was commentating the game. Called it their Big Four is out. I'm like, who's 4?
Listen,
and they said Patrick Beverley.
That's a good transition because I hate Patrick Beverley. And I also hate Rudy Gobert, who was the subject of my last week's Grind My Gears. And this week, the guy I want to talk about for my Grinds My Gears is Garrison Matthews, who, of course, the Heat played earlier this week when they played the Houston Rockets. Now, listen, if you're a Heat fan, right, which is there any non-Heat fans watching this? How weird would that be, George? If you're not a Heat fan and you're watching this, I appreciate you because you must find us likable in some way. Or maybe you thought this was the new trailer for the new Super Mario Brothers movie and you're waiting for Jack Black to come up. I don't know. You saw them making a movie, right?
I hate the movie.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Leave the video games alone. They were perfect.
I'm still gonna watch it. But if you're a Heat fan, the name Garrison Matthews should strike some sort of fear in you or anger or some kind of negative emotion because, of course, he killed the Miami Heat on multiple occasions, primarily back when he was with the Washington Wizards. And, of course, when he was doing that, everyone was saying, oh, who is this bum? Another random scrub Heat killer. He's killing us. I hate this dude. But I knew exactly who Garrison Matthews was. It all started about a year or two before his first monster game against the Heat. He was playing for a university called Lipscomb University. That's a real school, George. Lipscomb. It sounds just like Lipscomb. And he plays for that school. And Lipscomb University. That's how it's pronounced. Random scrub Heat killer. Our guy Jabari Morris knows. He's on that list. Hall of Fame, random scrub Heat killer Garrison Matthews. But back when he was in school, back before he was in the pros, he played for Lipscomb University in the ASUN Conference, which also happened.
Stop saying that word. Stop saying the word.
We've said much worse.
LC University does just fine. LC will do more than enough. Stop saying the word.
He went to Lipscomb University, which is in the ASUN Conference, and they played my alma mater, Florida Gulf Coast University, back in, I think it was 2017 or so, in the championship game. And, of course, the winner was going to go on to March Madness. And FGCU was dominant that year. They had Brandon Goodwin, who is now in the NBA. They had Zach Johnson. They had Christian Terrell. All those guys went pros overseas, and that was a good team. It was a really, really good team. And shout out to Brandon Goodwin for doing his thing in the NBA now. He was on the Cavaliers last year. I think he's a free agent now, so someone go sign my boy. Anyways, they dominated the regular season, got all the way to the ASUN championship game, in which I'm ready for them to win. And I can go watch my team get called by Kevin Harlan on March Madness. And then a guy from a little university, which I'm not going to say because it really pisses George off, which is kind of what this segment's all about. So I'm going to do it. Is Lipscomb University. This man, Garrison Matthews, dropped almost 40 points on our head in a college game and absolutely blew out the Eagles. And then we had to watch that godforsaken university on national television. And I hated that man ever since. So when I saw him suit up one cold winter night against the Miami Heat and do what he did to us again and again and again, he's quickly made his my list of most hated players in the NBA. That's Garrison Matthews, and I guarantee this is the most that bum's ever been talked about on the show, so I refuse to do it anymore. George, who do you got for Grinds My Gears?
Mine is Friendly Fire. Friendly Fire. This is what my take is. Friendly Fire. Kyle Lowry, 30-something million for that? What the was that? He played trash. I watched the game live yesterday, and I said to myself after the game, he didn't play that bad. I watched the replay today of what he's done. He can't dribble well. He couldn't shoot. He passed like crap. He turned the ball over. He did everything wrong. Everything. When we're paying $30 million for a point guard that can't do any of those things, it makes me angry. Angry.
You think he
Turn
sucks,
it up,
bro?
Kyle. Prove me wrong. Or else you're gone at the trade deadline.
Oh, no one's
February
traded for him.
9th.
No one's traded for him.
The Lakers are.
Oh, I could see that. Yeah, but that means we get Westbrook back, baby. Your boy.
If they give us those 2 first-round picks, I don't give a damn.
Do you think Lowry sucks, though? Like, do you think he's hot trash?
No, I don't.
Okay, good.
No, I
That's
don't.
all I want to put it to Heat Nation out there is that
He's a
he
former
doesn't
champion.
suck.
He is a former champion. Fantastic pedigree
And-
under him. He's been great for every year before he came to us.
And he
was-
provides some value as a veteran leader who can facilitate.
We have Haslem for that. We don't need veteran leadership.
You just gonna
Haslem
ignore
has
the
more
facilitator
rings
part.
than half of the organizations out there. What are you going to get from Kyle Lowry?
That's it for Grinds My Gears. That's a very overplayed topic. And because we got a couple more topics here, for the sake of not going over an hour, we'll cut off George before he has an aneurysm. The last segment is the most exciting one that I've been wanting to get to y'all. It is our bet of the week. And if you don't recall the bet of the week last time, let me go ahead and replay for you the little clip that I saved from last week's recorded later. And the first one we got says, shower in cold water with your clothes on while reciting the college of every Heat player. So that is, as George seems a little iffy on that. I read him the punishment. So the bet was
Such a beautiful man.
Jamal Cain rebounds. How many he would have cumulative over the week? I said 15. George said 11. And that bum only had 8 rebounds for the entire week. So because of that, I had to, of course, do the bet, which was take a shower in cold water while reciting the college of every Heat player. And yes, I did it. And I have no other introduction. I'm just going to play the video for y'all right now. I literally just came home from work. I'm so annoyed I have to do this. I'm not even going to change out of my work clothes because I just want to get this done with. Let's go ahead. Y'all see we got the water on as cold as can be. This sucks. Heat Nation loves Jamal Cain. Well, guess what? I hate him. Whew. Anyways, let's start with Jamal Cain. Went to Oakland after Marquette. Smith went to Missouri, Carolina, Villanova, Tyler Herro, Kentucky, Jimmy Butler, Marquette, Caleb Morris, NC State, Nevada, Adebayo went to Kentucky. Omer Yurtseven went to Georgetown. Wayne went to UNC. Udonis Haslem went to Florida. Oladipo went to Indiana. Duncan went to Williams College in Michigan. Haywood Highsmith went to Wheeling University. Wow, this is cold. Gabe went to UC Santa Barbara. Strus, I got my Strus next. Went to the Fall. It's a power forward. It can't be a power forward. We ain't got no power forwards on this roster. Oh my God, it is. Nikola Jovic. That boy is still in high school. That boy ain't even go to college yet. Woo, this is cold. Woo, I'm getting out of here. The fact that we lost 2 viewers during those 48 seconds says it all. I hated that. I hated watching that as much as y'all did.
That you have to do it again because you made a mistake, didn't you?
No.
Jamal Cain drafted out of where?
Well, I said Oakland and then Marquette. I said both.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I'm happy.
I said both. And now the 2 viewers we lost came back as soon as that video ended. I don't blame y'all. We already picked our player prop.
What was
bet
the
for
sound in the background, by the way?
Oh, it was a song that I wrote called "Cold Like Duncan Robinson" to the beat of Lil Yachty.
Never
Cold
played
Like
again.
Minnesota.
Never played again. Burn it.
I have a whole music video, so I'll
Burn
put it on next stream.
it.
I'll save it for the first bad game Duncan has.
Oh shit!
I have
a
a whole video about it. It's so funny you notice that. But the player prop bet that we are betting on this week is Tyler Herro's points. Now, we plan to do the same episode 3 of Witness Weekly a week from today, which is on Thursday, the day after the Miami Heat play the Chicago Bulls. So basically, we just have to guess how many points Tyler Herro will have in that game versus Chicago Bulls. My bet is Tyler Herro will have 25 points. George, what do you have?
I had 26. It's going to be close.
Care to elaborate while I type?
Elaborate what? Okay. It's the first game in the season. They're going to want to get Tyler off to a hot start, okay? It's either going to be Tyler or Bam to be the focal point. I feel like it's going to be Tyler. And I feel that after Levine, there's no one really on that team that can stop him besides Caruso. And I'm not scared of the Elmer Fudd-looking idiot that everyone seems to think is the greatest defensive player after Marcus Smart. So, yeah, I'm going 26. I feel like he's just going to splash, have a great game. And the good thing is, if he has under 25, that's for you. But if he has 26 or over, I'm going to win again.
That is a great bet. We have the numbers locked in. 25 or less, I win. 26 or higher, George wins. Now let's go ahead and spin the wheel to see what we are getting for our punishment for next week's episode. It looks like we are landing on get a stranger to subscribe to the basement. So what that means, we have to go out public into the beautiful world. And in George's cases, is very dangerous because he's got scorpions and kangaroos and snakes all over the place and tarantulas. But we have to go into the world and get a stranger to subscribe to the basement. We'll get it on video and show it to y'all next week. And it does have to be a stranger, George. Do not pussy out about it.
I don't care about my family enough to get someone of them to help me, I swear. I hate them all. They're all Pacers fans.
And just to update y'all, we do have our yearly bets. The bet is the Heat seed. I predicted that the Heat will finish 1 through 5 in the Eastern Conference. George predicted 6 through 10. And the loser at the end of the season will have to shave off their beautiful mustache live on stream. So I just wanted to give y'all an update there.
It's not looking good for me.
The season literally did not even start yet, George.
It's not looking good.
Looks like at the buzzer, we got our first answer to the Who Dis of the week is once again our guy, Royal A. Shepherd, who is now a back-to-back winner, who, of course, said Justin Hamilton. Yes, sir, that's right. Justin Hamilton is white number 7, the guy I showed you earlier. So shout out to our guy, the beautiful one and only.
Why do I know who that is?
Shepherd. This guy.
Why do I actually know that, though? Like, that scares me.
He was on the Big 3 teams.
Yeah, I know, and that scares the hell out of me, the fact that I remembered that. I have nightmares.
Why did Jabari Morris say the Pacers?
Because my cousins are Pacers fans.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Why?
You ask me, man. Like I would know. It's a weird country.
All right. Well, we were able to get this episode under an hour, which really was the goal. Thank y'all for tuning into this very chaotic episode, and where quite literally everything went wrong. So I hope you at least enjoyed it a little bit. And now that the video is over, feel free to leave a like if you enjoyed. And if you think this video sucks, then please send a comment telling me we're trash. Go ahead and leave a comment now as we got. You have something funny to say? You're just going to be stupid again. Well, if you didn't like this episode, you sure will now. Thank you for giving me the perfect outro. Let's hit this music, baby.
Look, pull up in the city, tryna get that dead face. Do it on my own, I don't need no dead weight. Had to kill him off, yeah, I need a headspace. You know this homegrown bitch don't offend me. Better watch your tone, better take your